Hey everyone, and welcome back to CodeMechanic. Today, we're tackling a really common and frankly, pretty alarming sound. A thumping or clunking noise coming from the rear of your car. You know the one I'm talking about? You're driving along, maybe hitting a bump or making a turn, and suddenly you hear this loud thump. 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 It can be unsettling, but don't panic. We're going to break down the most likely culprits, which usually fall into two main categories: the suspension system or the differential. First, let's talk about the suspension. This is your car's first line of defense against bumps and rough roads, so it takes a lot of abuse. Over time, its components wear out. The most common source of that thumping noise is worn-out shock absorbers or struts. When they fail, they can't control the spring's movement anymore, causing the suspension to bottom out over bumps with a loud clunk. Think of it like a pogo stick with no resistance. It just slams down. Another likely suspect is the sway bar links. These are small rods that connect the sway bar to the suspension. They have little joints that can wear out, creating a clunking noise, especially when you're turning or driving over uneven surfaces. Finally, check your suspension bushings. These are rubber or polyurethane insulators that absorb vibration and allow parts to pivot. When they crack or get worn, you get metal-on-metal contact, and that creates a very distinct thumping or knocking sound. So, how do you check for suspension issues? A simple bounce test can give you a clue about your shocks. Go to the rear corner of your car and push down firmly on the bumper. If the car bounces more than once or twice after you let go, your shocks are likely worn. To check sway bar links and bushings, you'll need to safely jack up the rear of the car and support it with jack stands. Once the wheel is off the ground, grab it at the top and bottom and try to wiggle it. If there's play, it could be a bad wheel bearing. But also check the suspension components for any visible damage, like cracked rubber or loose connections. Grab the sway bar and try to move it. If you hear that same clunking noise, you've probably found your problem in the links or bushings. Now, let's move on to the second major possibility: the differential. The differential is a complex set of gears that allows your rear wheels to turn at different speeds when you go around a corner. A thumping from the differential is often a more serious issue and usually sounds different. It might be a deeper, more metallic clunk that happens when you accelerate, decelerate, or shift from drive to reverse. One cause could be worn-out differential mounts. Just like your engine, the differential is bolted to the car's frame with rubber mounts. If these mounts are broken or worn, the whole differential can shift and thump against the frame under load. Inside the differential, you have gears like the spider gears and ring and pinion gears. If these gears have excessive backlash, which is the amount of play between them or if a tooth is chipped or broken, you'll hear a clunking noise as the gears engage and disengage. This is especially noticeable when you first apply power or let off the gas. Another common problem, particularly in limited slip differentials, is worn-out clutch packs. These clutches can start to grab and release unevenly, causing a chattering or thumping noise, especially during tight, low-speed turns. Diagnosing a differential problem usually requires a bit more expertise. A telltale sign is if the noise changes significantly with acceleration and deceleration. You might also notice a whining or humming noise at steady speeds, which points to gear wear. Checking the differential fluid is a good first step. If you drain the fluid and see a lot of metal shavings, that's a bad sign that there's internal damage. A professional mechanic can use a stethoscope to pinpoint the exact location of the noise while the car is on a lift and the wheels are spinning. So, to recap, if your thumping noise happens, mostly over bumps and during turns, start by inspecting your sway bar links and bushings are your prime suspects. If the noise is more related to acceleration, deceleration, or shifting gears, your focus should be on the differential. Check the mounts and consider the possibility of internal gear or clutch pack wear. Never ignore a noise like this. What starts as a simple, inexpensive fix, like a sway bar link, can lead to more significant damage if left unchecked. A suspension problem can affect your handling and tire wear, and a differential problem can leave you stranded. Get it checked out sooner rather than later. I hope this guide helps you diagnose that annoying thumping noise. Remember, safety first whenever you're working on your car. If you're not comfortable jacking up your vehicle, leave it to a trusted professional. Thanks for watching CodeMechanic. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Drive safe, and see you next time.